Australia, land of stunning landscapes and thrilling mysteries. But hidden within its beautiful terrain are places steeped in dark history and chilling hauntings. In this video, we're taking you on a spine-tingling journey to uncover the 15 most haunted places in Australia. From eerie old prisons to cursed natural pools, these stories of ghostly encounters and restless spirits will leave you questioning what's lurking in the shadows. 1. Monte Cristo Homestead, New South Wales. The Monte Cristo Homestead looms over Junee, shrouded in the whispers of tragedy and fear. Built in 1884, this grand mansion was once home to the Crawley family, whose influence was both powerful and severe. Mrs. Elizabeth Crawley, a woman known for her piety and strict discipline, never left her bedroom for the last 23 years of her life. Today, visitors swear they've seen her ghostly figure watching from the second-floor window. At night, a strange, eerie chill settles over the homestead. Doors open and close on their own, lights flicker, and the sound of footsteps echoes through the halls, even though no one is there. In the stables, visitors have reported smelling smoke and hearing the agonized screams of a young stable boy who was cruelly burned alive by his employer, his restless spirit seemingly trapped in eternal torment. 2. Port Arthur, Tasmania. Port Arthur's convict past seems to linger like a dark cloud over Tasmania. Built to house the most dangerous convicts, it became a place of unimaginable suffering and despair. At dusk, the wind sweeps across the grounds, carrying with it ghostly whispers and moans. In the old prison cells, some visitors have seen shadowy figures and heard the clinking of chains. One of the most chilling encounters happened in the separate prison, where inmates were subjected to complete isolation. A young convict's spirit is said to roam the cold, damp halls, his forlorn cries echoing through the darkness. Many believe he's searching for redemption, his soul trapped by the misery he endured. 3. The Old Melbourne Gale, Victoria. The Old Melbourne Gale, where infamous criminal Ned Kelly was hanged, holds a darkness that few dare to face. The jail is notorious for its oppressive atmosphere, where the specters of former prisoners seem to linger, bound by the heavy weight of their final moments. As visitors walk through the narrow corridors, they often hear a faint, anguished sobbing. Some have felt an invisible hand brush against their shoulder, or seen a figure dressed in ragged clothes out of the corner of their eye. One visitor even swore he saw Ned Kelly himself, standing silently in his cell, his eyes full of bitterness and defiance, as if his spirit was still unwilling to submit. 4. Freemantle Arts Centre, Western Australia. The Freemantle Arts Centre was once a lunatic asylum, and its tragic past has left a ghostly imprint on its walls. During quiet afternoons, when the building is nearly empty, visitors have felt an overwhelming sadness and the sense of being watched. Some claim to see a woman in a long, tattered dress wandering the halls, her face a mask of sorrow. Her apparition appears for a few fleeting moments before fading away, leaving behind a strange chill. Even staff members are wary of certain areas, especially the old patient quarters, where an icy gust often sweeps through, accompanied by soft, anguished moans that seem to seep from the very walls. 5. The National Film and Sound Archive, Canberra in Canberra. The National Film and Sound Archive harbors a haunting presence from its past life as an anatomy institute. In the dimly lit storage rooms, staff have heard footsteps echo in the darkness, even when they are alone. Some have felt an unexplainable cold hand on their shoulder. The figure of a woman, dressed in old-fashioned clothing, has been seen lingering by the stairwell. As she appears, a heavy silence falls, and the air grows tense. Employees say her empty gaze is both captivating and terrifying, as if she is reliving the memories of her life cut short within these walls. 6. The Adelaide Arcade, South Australia. The Adelaide Arcade is known for its beautiful architecture and chilling history. After a tragic accident, caretaker Francis Clooney met a grisly end, and his spirit seems to have never left. Shoppers and staff frequently report seeing a shadowy figure in the corners, watching them. Security cameras have captured mysterious, unexplainable figures wandering the hallways at night. Some have even seen Clooney himself, dressed in his work clothes, forever pacing the arcade, as if in search of something lost. The lights flicker when his ghost appears, as if the very electricity recognizes his presence. 7. Beachworth Asylum. Victoria Beachworth Asylum, a former mental institution, has a haunting energy that visitors cannot ignore. Shadows drift through the building, and the cries of former patients seem to echo through the night. One particular figure, Matron Sharp, is frequently seen roaming the halls. Dressed in white, with a strict and unsettling gaze, her apparition appears to visitors in moments of stillness, her energy heavy with the sorrow of lives forgotten. Some guests have reported feeling a hand push them slightly, a reminder of the asylum's dark history, where patients suffered under unimaginable conditions. 8. The Princess Theatre. Victoria, the spirit of Federici, a beloved actor, haunts Melbourne's Princess Theatre. In 1888, during a performance, Federici collapsed and died, but his presence lives on. Performers often feel a comforting yet eerie hand on their shoulder as they prepare for their roles. His shadowy figure has been spotted in the wings, observing the performances as though he never left. On especially stormy nights, his spirit becomes more active, and the lights dim just before the final curtain falls. Many believe Federici's ghost is a reminder of the passion he held for the stage. 9. The Ghost Hill at Picton, New South Wales. Locals in Picton avoid Ghost Hill at night. It's said that a young woman, clad in a flowing white dress, wanders the road in search of her lover, who never returned. Drivers often spot her figure standing in the middle of the road, her eyes fixed on the distance, a look of deep sadness on her face. Those who swerve to avoid her find themselves alone when they turn back, as if she vanished into thin air. A lingering chill settles over the area, as though her spirit clings to those who see her, haunted by her loss. 10. Aradale Lunatic Asylum. Victoria, the Aradale Lunatic Asylum, one of Australia's largest abandoned psychiatric institutions, has a chilling reputation that has persisted for over a century. With over 13,000 patients passing through its doors, the stories of suffering and mental torment are endless, and many believe these tragic souls still linger. Walking through the asylum's narrow, decrepit hallways, visitors often report hearing whispers that seem to come from the shadows, the voices pleading for release. A former nurse, known as Nurse Carrie, is one of the more frequently cited spirits. She was said to be compassionate to the patients, unlike some of her colleagues, yet her face appears etched with sorrow, as if bound to the place by the suffering she witnessed. One visitor recounted the feeling of an invisible hand brushing against her arm, as if guiding her toward an old padded cell. Standing outside, she felt an overwhelming despair, so intense she had to leave the room. In the men's ward, cold spots, sudden drops in temperature, and the distinct sound of footsteps following visitors are common experiences. The spirit of a young patient named William is said to wander here, searching for his family, whom he believes abandoned him. Visitors who've seen William describe him as a pale figure with empty, sorrowful eyes. His presence is often accompanied by a low, mournful hum that fades into silence, leaving an unshakable sadness in the air. 11. Altona Homestead. Victoria Altona Homestead, a charming historic home in Victoria, has earned a reputation for being one of the region's most haunted sites. Once the residence of the Langhorne family, the homestead is now known more for its spectral occupants than for its history. Many believe that the Langhorne family never truly left, and their spirits still roam the rooms, echoing a bygone era. One particular ghost is said to be Sarah Langhorne herself, the matriarch of the family, who is often seen near the old fireplace. Her figure appears as a faint, ethereal presence, her gaze fixed on the flames as if lost in deep thought. Visitors report feeling a sudden chill upon entering the room, often accompanied by an overwhelming sense of nostalgia and melancholy. Some have even felt an invisible hand gently tugging on their sleeve, as if beckoning them to stay a while. On certain nights, a soft music box tune seems to drift through the house, playing a song from a different time. Those who follow the sound often find it fading just as they approach, leading them in circles around the house. The servants' quarters are said to be the most haunted area, with the sound of footsteps, faint whispers, and occasional soft laughter echoing through the empty rooms. 12. North Head Quarantine Station, New South Wales. The North Head Quarantine Station, perched on the edge of Sydney Harbour, was once a place where the sick and dying were isolated to prevent the spread of disease. Today, it's a sprawling reminder of a dark past, where the spirits of those who suffered remain bound by sorrow and regret. Many visitors describe feeling an immense sense of sadness and unease upon entering, as though stepping into another world. In the former infirmary, ghostly figures have been sighted, their faces pale and hauntingly expressionless. The scent of antiseptic often fills the air, mingling with the faintest whispers of despair. A particularly unsettling apparition is that of a woman in a gray gown, who is seen wandering the infirmary hallways, her gaze distant and unfocused. She seems to glide past, barely noticing the living, as though trapped in a repetitive cycle. In the burial grounds, footsteps crunch on gravel, even when no one is present, and some have reported seeing figures slowly fade into mist. The dormitories, where many of the sick were kept in cramped quarters, are alive with strange occurrences, beds shifting on their own, doors creaking open, and the unmistakable sound of soft, labored breathing. It's said that the souls of those who died here are still waiting to leave, unable to accept the finality of their fate. 13. Studley Park House, New South Wales. Studley Park House, an elegant mansion in Camden, holds a tragic story that continues to haunt its halls. A young boy named Walter, the son of the original owner, drowned in a nearby dam, leaving the family devastated. His spirit is said to linger in the house, bound by the innocence of his young age and the tragedy of his untimely death. Visitors often hear the sound of small, running footsteps echoing through the halls, as though a child is playing an endless game. On dark, quiet nights, the soft laughter of a young boy seems to drift through the rooms, a joyful sound tinged with sorrow. One visitor recounted seeing a small figure standing at a window, looking out toward the dam, as if waiting for someone. When approached, the figure vanished, leaving behind only an eerie chill. The house's atmosphere grows heavier at dusk, and many feel a pressing sadness that settles in the rooms, particularly in Walter's old bedroom. Toys left in the room sometimes move on their own, as though a small, unseen hand is still reaching for them. The boy's spirit is said to be a gentle one, yet his presence lingers in the home, caught between two worlds, eternally waiting to be reunited with his family. 14. The Old Adelaide Jail, South Australia. The Old Adelaide Gaol's brutal history is etched into its stone walls, with countless prisoners held and executed within its confines. Many visitors are drawn to the jail by tales of the spectral figures who supposedly haunt it. One of the most infamous is Frederick Carr, a notorious murderer whose execution left a permanent mark on the jail. It's said that Carr's ghost can be seen in his former cell, his figure slumped as though still weighed down by guilt and regret. Some visitors report hearing faint whispers, almost like a prayer or plea, echoing through the empty corridors. At night, the clinking of chains and the muffled sounds of shuffling feet can be heard, as if the spirits of former inmates are still trudging through their cells. Cold drafts move through rooms with no apparent source, and many visitors feel an overwhelming urge to leave. In the execution yard, visitors often feel a sense of dread, as though they're being watched by unseen eyes. Shadows flit across walls, and some have reported seeing the faces of former prisoners staring back at them from the darkness. The jail's dark history seems to cling to all who enter, leaving them with an unshakable feeling of foreboding. 15. The Devil's Pool, Babinda, Queensland. Nestled in the lush surroundings of Babinda, the Devil's Pool is a natural wonder with a dark, chilling legend. Local Aboriginal stories speak of Ulana, a young woman who threw herself into the pool after a tragic love affair, her grief too great to bear. It's said that her spirit haunts the waters, luring unsuspecting visitors to their doom. Over the years, numerous drownings have been reported, with witnesses describing how the water seemed to pull victims under with an unnatural force. The pools appear serene on the surface, but locals know to avoid the area, warning that Ulana's spirit remains restless. Visitors have reported feeling a strange sensation, as if something is beckoning them closer to the water. Some have seen the reflection of a beautiful woman in traditional dress in the pool, her expression one of intense sorrow. As they watch, her reflection fades, leaving only the stillness of the water. Those who come too close feel an inexplicable chill, and a few have even claimed they heard a faint voice whispering their name, luring them towards the edge. Ulana's spirit, forever heartbroken, is said to guard the pool, waiting for her lost love and drawing others into her tragic tale. Thank you for joining us on this haunting exploration of Australia's most terrifying locations. If you dare to visit any of these places, remember, some spirits never truly rest. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which haunted spot you'd visit or avoid. Until next time, stay curious and stay brave.